This is the Angels POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Los Angeles Angels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
There are no words. There are no words. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Hello, Halo Nation. Hello, Halo hopefuls. And welcome back to the latest edition of the Locked On Angels POSTCAST, coming at you live, as always, after every single Angels game, including absolutely heartbreaking, infuriating Angels games like this one, right here, live, as always, on the Locked On Angels YouTube channel and after the fact, both on the channel and wherever you get the Locked On Angels audio podcast feed. If you don't know who I am, what's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credentialed journalist in the LA area, spent not one, not two, not three, but 4 years covering UCLA sports with the Daily Bruin, and now in year 2 with the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. Our team is the Angels, and Giga Chad, you are right. The Angels need to apologize after that loss. Another frustrating loss in extra innings. Angels 3, Blue Jays 4. The curse that is the Angels at 500 continues. 43-43 coming into this one. We know all the jokes we have made about this team doing so much to get to that point of being 500. And one of these times, surely, one of these times, the Angels are just going to win one more freaking game to get past that hump. That's all we ask. We're not asking this team to stay above 500 for 3 months and make the play. Just one time, can we get above 500? Since we're the only fan base in the league that would need to care about something as little as this. But no, the curse continues and the extra innings foolishness continues. We're going to get into it very shortly, but before we do, shout out to everybody in here. I see all the familiar faces, whether it's Larry or Mahoko or Vince or Michael or Jeff, Dave, everybody, shout out to you. It's the 4th of July. I almost forgot to say it. I'm that infuriated by this loss, but happy 4th of July, everybody. Hope you're having a great time with your family. Again, would have been so nice to go into Canada, go into Toronto, and on the 4th of July, beat the Blue Jays, but no, that would be way too nice. So frustrating, but again, shout out to all of you for being in here. Did not expect, honestly, a crowd this big on a holiday. Make sure you spend the rest of your day with your family, but shout out to you guys. Thank you, Angels win. Happy 4th, everybody. But without further ado, let's get right to it. America's favorite segment.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
And of course, it's the 10th inning. But no, we're not jumping straight to Sam Bachman's huge game-blowing error. We're going to the top of the 10th because you guys know there's a few things you know about me. Right? All the jokes about me, yes. But in terms of my baseball beliefs, ideals, morals, a few things. And one of them that has been infuriating me is that the Angels refuse to bunt the darn Manfred man over to third base. They refuse to do it. And it's almost the exact same scenario as the last time we lost, with the leadoff guy coming up. Decent speed on second base. The only difference this time is last game, it was Luis Rengifo, a guy who is not good at bunting. I get it, but he's also not very good at hitting right now. They chose not to bunt. He did not do it, or he did not get a hit. They did not score a run. They lost the game. Top of the 10th inning, runner on second base, Kevin Newman, decent speed, Zach Neto up, and I get it. Zach Neto, one of, if not the best hitters on this team, one of, if not the best players on this team, one of, if not the most clutch hitters on this team. I get all of that. But, and again, you know me. I'm not one who just goes based on the results and then tells you, oh, I was thinking it all along. No. I tell you what I was thinking in the moment. And in the moment, I'm saying bunt. Why? Because once again, we have Nolan Schanuel coming up, the same exact scenario as last time when Luis Rengifo didn't bunt. Nolan Schanuel would be up with the runner on third base and one out. And the argument the last time that some people had is, hey, Luis Rengifo is not that good at bunting. Cool. He needs to be, especially when you're hitting in the 230s. Emmanuel, we're gonna get to Trout. Don't worry, we're gonna get to Trout. But for now, I don't care if it's Rengifo, Neto, if it's Trout, if it's Sean Will himself. Bunt the ball. If you bunt and it doesn't work out, then you pivot. But we haven't even tried, so we don't bunt. Neto, ironically, hits the ball really hard. But if anything, this further proves my point. It's baseball. We know how hard it is to get a base hit. You do it 1 out of every 4 times nowadays if you're a good hitter. Not even 1 out of every 3. 1 out of every 4 times if you're a decent hitter. And Zach Neto does everything right. He gets ahead 3-1 in the count. He rips the ball 100-mile-an-hour exit velo and still doesn't get a base hit. Is it Neto's fault? No. It's baseball. But you know what's easier than not only hitting the ball hard, but also hitting it to a spot where there isn't a defender? Just putting a bunt down. Just putting a sack bunt down. And again, there's decent speed on second. It doesn't even need to be down the line or anything. Just put the bunt down. There's also good speed at the plate in Zach Neto. So if it is at a good spot, he might still be able to beat it out. But no. He lines out, not his fault, but what happens? 1 out now, runner on second, and they do everything. They kind of do what the Angels did, but accidentally here. They hit Sean Will, make it first and second. Mike Trout comes up, and I know. Another opportunity for all the Trout doubters, and there's plenty of them in here. Emmanuel has spammed this about 400 times already. Look at Trout. Trout so clutch. Mike Trout clutch as always. Dan saying blame lack clutch hitting. I get it. You're absolutely right. Another example of Mike Trout not coming up clutch. And in a different game, in a different inning, if it wasn't the 10th inning, that would be what I led the show with. Because I know it's becoming too much of a storyline at this point. Trout is never clutch. I get it. But this was not needed. This scenario, this clutch at bat from Mike Trout was not necessary. You put the Manfred men on second base in the new rule for a reason. Because a run should be scored easily. Put the bunt down. They don't do it. Trout has a bad at bat. He pops up on a 2-1 pitch. It's pretty darn bad. I get it. Man, Angels win coming in hot. The most overrated non-clutch player of all time. We'll jump into that on another show. But for now, I'm just frustrated about the lack of execution and the fact that you keep making the same mistake. Right? So, of course, he pops out. Taylor Ward strikes out. And the Angels don't score in the top of the 10th. At this point, you're thinking, okay, we're probably going to lose this game. But my rant about bunting that I've started the show with, and you know I don't like to always start with these rants, but come on. And I see you guys in the comments saying it's one of the most infuriating losses of the season, and I agree with you. Vinny says, I can't take this roller coaster of a team sometimes. Does things to my mental. And I agree. But what makes it so much worse is not only that you did not bunt, but that the Blue Jays win on the exact bunt that I was begging for. Now, it helps when Sam Bachman comes in and can't throw a strike. I don't know if this was a intentional walk from him against Nathan Lukes. I don't think it was, because he was trying to throw strikes or at least difficult pitches. Couldn't locate the sinker, throws 4 balls down and in. The third one almost hits him. And now you've got first and second with nobody out. And what do the Blue Jays do? They drop down a freaking bunt. You can't make it up, man. They drop down a bunt. Sam Bachman, if in case you missed it, runs after it. Again, it wasn't even a perfect bunt. Was it right down the line? Right? When we refuse to bunt, it's like we act like it's this impossible thing. It's impossible if you are expecting it to roll right down the line. Was this bunt perfect by Clement? No. It was between the pitching mound and third base. And look what happens. It's a sack bunt. A sack bunt. The only thing you're trying to do here is move the guys over. And look what happens. You move the guys over, and then Sam Bachman airmails it over Sean Will's head, and the game is over. Look what happens when you put the bunt down. I sound like a broken record today, guys. Normally I'm talking about 8 different players. I'm talking about this inning and that inning. It came down to one thing. One team bunted and one team didn't. And that's why we lost the game. And if it's the first time this happened, it wouldn't be a big deal. But this is now a couple times in the last couple of weeks. Real Marco Polo, exactly. Look what happens when you force the pitcher to field his position. Right? Come on. Dudes are paid literally millions and can't even learn to play a goddamn bunt. I agree. Not enough small ball. We know that this is not the brand of this team. This is a home run or bust team. But man, I don't trust anyone on this Angels team, even a Zach Neto, to have a clutch RBI single. Even Joe Adell, the guy who hit the big 3-run home run in this game. I did not trust him. He didn't come through with the bases loaded the inning before, right? I don't trust anyone to have a clutch RBI single. What I trust is for an MLB baseball player to be able to put a bunt down. And that's that. Angels lose. Everyone's losing in the comments. I don't blame all of you. One of the more frustrating losses of the year, without a doubt. We're going to take our break now, but when we come back, we will absolutely talk about Joe Adell's clutch home run, because without that swing, this game would not even be close. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the good and the bad with Kyle Hendricks, and we'll look ahead to game 2 of the series in Toronto tomorrow, an opportunity to get back to 500. We'll do all of that after our break here on a July 4th edition of the Locked On Angels postcast. I'll be right back. Now, on this July 4th, this Friday, today's show is brought to you by the wonderful people at Gametime. Have you ever decided at the last minute to head to a ball game with friends or family? Maybe it's game day and you suddenly realize you want to be in the stands. That's exactly where Gametime comes in. It's the easiest way to grab last-minute tickets without the stress. With the money you save on tickets, you can splurge on food, drinks, merch, or even invite a bigger group to come with you. Gametime makes it possible. Gametime makes buying tickets fast and simple because prices on the app actually drop the closer you get to first pitch. They've got incredible last-minute deals, clear seat views, and the lowest price guarantee that takes the worry out of buying. Gametime is the official ticketing partner of Locked On MLB, making it easy to browse the app for any exciting upcoming MLB games, and it has last-minute tickets, zone deals for big savings, such as 10% off, exclusive zone deals for the FIFA Club World Cup, and my favorite part, the seat views right in the app before you buy, so you know exactly where you'll be. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Back here live on, again, this 4th of July edition of the Locked On Angels postcast. Hope everyone is having a great July 4th holiday. And it could have been a triple great July 4th for our Angels. You come in 43-43, finally an opportunity to break that 500 ceiling, to win a game on 4th of July in Canada. The game looked out of reach. It looked like it was going to be just a game where the offense didn't show up. 3-0 for, a 3-run inning for the Blue Jays, busting this game open in the bottom of the 6th inning. But if there's one thing this Angels team is going to do, in addition to not dropping a bunt down in the 10th, and you certainly heard my thoughts on that already, but in addition to that, and we did get some classic Angels foolishness there at the end with the Sam Bachman error. But if there's one other thing we can guarantee with this Angels team, it's a good thing in 2025. It's that, man, oh man, is this lineup resilient. And so right after Kyle Hendricks and Jose Fermin combined to give up 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th, this team immediately responds. And again, this loss is frustrating, but don't forget how nice we have it this year compared to last year, where we fall behind 3-0. We're going into the 7th inning, and I'm sitting there going, we're going to at least score once in these last 3 innings. You know the Angels are going to do it. And it's a great luxury to be able to say that you're confident that even with only 3 innings, even when the lineup has done nothing all night, there's something about this team, man, that in the late innings, especially when you need it most, they're going to come through, unless it's in the extra innings with the management man on second. But They did it once again. And so, yes, did Mike Trout fumble in that big moment in the 9th or in the 10th? Yes. But he did start the top of the 7th with a leadoff single on a swinging bunt. We will take it. It went 2 feet. And then things got started. Taylor Ward with a sharp liner, 106 exit velo into left field. 2 men on, nobody out. Nick Sandlin comes in as the new pitcher, and right away, Jo Adell, the man of the hour, the man of the month of June, the man who has not wasted any time being red hot in the month of July. He comes through again with another big league at bat. He gets ahead 1-0. He has a foul tip on a 1-0 slider, and then on 1-1 gets a fastball on the outside corner, and he absolutely, oh my goodness, destroyed it. 111.3 exit velo, 431 feet. I was sitting there on the grill watching the game, and Adell comes up, and at this point, he's been so hot that when there's 2 men on and he's the tying man up, I put the tongs down. I put the spatula down. I took my hands off the grill, and I said, I need to watch this at bat. And surely enough, he delivered. He delivered. So Jo Adell continues to be clutch. 3-run shot, 431 feet. It's very frustrating that he's the only one that can come through right now in big moments. It's very frustrating that in the top of the 8th inning, he had another big moment to come through in and did not come through, but you can't ask for much else from him, right? You have a game time 3-run shot. In case you missed it, the very next inning, top of the 8th. Again, the offense loves to have late rallies. They did it again here. A Zach Neto walk, a throwing error on a pickoff attempt gets him to second. Trout's intentionally walked. Taylor Ward walks, bases juiced for Jo Adell against Brendan Little. He strikes him out, unfortunately, and the inning is over. But the moral of the story is this team, it's one of the only things we know every time with this team is that they're going to have guys on base in the late moments. They're going to have a big swing or two in the late moments. And unfortunately, it's when things get really simple that we complicate things, such as being able to put down a darn bunt. So people are going to be in here like Fury saying this is on Montgomery. Certainly, Ron Washington would have bunted. That's all I'm going to say. He bunts too much. And Montgomery, Mr. Analytics guy, who loves to take out the starting pitcher early, doesn't like to drop the bunt down, apparently. But frustrating there. Really, outside of that, the offense did not do much. And again, it's such a luxury that in a game where you cannot do much for the first 6 innings, you can still put up 3 runs and force a game into extras. But if you look at the lineup, an 0-for-4 for Neto, an 0-for-4 from Shanuel, an 0-for-4 from Rengifo, Campero 0-for-3. Stevens still has not gotten a hit in his young MLB career. Newman, Soler, they're all hitless. Jo Adell, the only guy with 2 hits. He had 2 of the 5 hits, 2 hits out of 4, 3 RBIs on the 3-run shot. Could have been even bigger with the bases juiced, but still, great performance from him. Again, you guys want to be critical of Mike Trout, and I get it. He did not come through in the big moment, but still, he gets on base the second or the most of anyone on this team in this game, gets a base hit and another 2 walks. The OPS is rising despite the average falling. Why? Because the guy's taking more walks than just about anybody in baseball, right? So he has another 2 walks today. Neto does get on via walk, but that's really it. Outside of a Taylor Ward single and a Logan O'Hoppe single, not much going on there. Yes, the Dodgers are getting pummeled by the Astros. Very difficult game to decide on who you want to win that one. 2 teams you absolutely despise. But in terms of our Angels, we'll be all right. There was other encouraging things in this game. I thought Kyle Hendricks was okay, really, until that 6th inning. The first 5, he was very solid. But in the 6th, got in some trouble. Fermin came in and wasn't able to bail him out. And so the final stat line for Hendricks is 5 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs. The ERA is at 4.68, but he did enough. He kept you in this game when your offense wasn't giving you anything. And unfortunately, Fermin, it wasn't able to come through. Brock Burke looked decent, a strikeout in his inning. Reed Detmers looked really, really good again. Another 2 strikeouts, another scoreless inning from him. And Kenley Jansen comes in a big spot. We've seen him in this spot multiple times, and he comes through 2 strikeouts, no base runners. He looked electric. Unfortunately, Bachman comes in and doesn't do his thing. Now, real quick, Real Marco Polo says, sorry, Gav, but Trout isn't getting paid to get walks, man. He needs to come through. That's why he got paid. I get it. I'm not saying that he needs to be defended as in, oh, woe is me. I'm Mike Trout. Feel bad for me. I agree. Or I'm not saying that. I agree. He needs to come through in the big moments. I'm just saying at the end of the day, he still finds a way to get on base. And not many guys on the Angels are doing that right now. So if he was another guy, and this is what he was at the beginning of the season, if he was another guy that was only going 1 for 4 every 5 games with a single home run, then I would be even more critical. The fact that he and occasionally Shonwell are the only guys that get on base in other ways, that's why he's still valuable for this team. Yeah, exactly, Robert. He says, yeah, he's not 2012 or 2019 Trout, but he still finds a way to contribute and get on base, period. 3 times again today, even though it isn't always pretty. Exactly. That is true. And I think the fact that he gives us that kind of component to the team that not many people give, I think it's still valuable. But yes, on the flip side, you guys are absolutely right. He gets plenty of opportunities to be clutch, and he doesn't really ever come through. So it's very frustrating. But the bullpen was solid outside of Fermin. Hendricks was okay. Really, the pitching continues to be decent, but things fall apart in a close game. You know what I always say? Make every game a coin flip. We did that again tonight, but unfortunately, we lost another coin flip because for whatever reason, we don't want to bunt the ball. But I'm not going to say it anymore. We're going to move on. We got a big opportunity tomorrow. Again, I think I saw someone in here win series, not winning streaks. That's still the goal, right? And so at the end of the day, you want to win 2 out of 3 in Toronto. You'll still be over 500 going into your 7-game homestand before the All-Star break. And you still have that opportunity despite the loss today. I know it's a tough place to play. I know the Blue Jays are hot, but you very easily could have won this game, and you very easily can win tomorrow and Sunday. Now, give me a second. It is loading on my end. I'm trying to see who the starter is going to be tomorrow. If I remember correctly, it's Kohanowitz, but tell me if I am wrong there. This wasn't really an easy matchup for us either in terms of anytime Kyle Hendricks is pitching, you don't have a huge advantage or something in terms of starting pitching. And for the game to be as close as it was for the entire time, I think you will take that, right? So, we'll see. 2 games coming up in this series. You still have an opportunity to make it a successful trip. I don't think anything drastic needs to be taken away. People are in here saying it's time to move Joe Adell to the leadoff spot. I don't agree with that. Personally, I think that the lineup is okay right now. I think everything kind of makes logical sense once Christian Moore comes back, especially if Ohapi can contribute a little bit. Trout's still getting on base. I know he isn't hitting like a typical 3-hole hitter, but he's still getting on base. I think we'll be just fine. So you guys are totally right, and I am with you in feeling incredibly frustrated. But let's just win at least one of the next 2. Ideally, you win both of the next 2 to get over 500. But knowing us, we'll win tomorrow and lose on Sunday. If you're a betting man, that's the right bet. The same way if you're a betting man, betting on the Angels to lose today was the right bet. But that's all for today, folks. Appreciate you guys. As always, again, it's the 4th of July. You guys could be with your family, but you're here watching me. So I appreciate that. If you haven't already, leave a like, drop a comment if you haven't already. If you're somehow not subscribed, do that as well. Again, it is the 4th of July for me as well. I was with my family. I took a break from that to be with you guys. So if you appreciate that, leave a like, comment, all that good stuff. Thank you. Good luck, Chuck. Appreciate you guys as always. And keep your heads up. We'll be all right. Appreciate you as well. Angels win. Someone said their family is not clutch either. Well, then I'm glad I was able to give you a break from your family. But yes, take care, everybody. Have a blessed rest of your July 4th. And I'll see you all back here tomorrow after hopefully another Angels win. Take care, Mahoko. Thank you, Giga Chad, for the kind comments. I'm wrapping it up. Take care. And as always, go Angels. We'll see you tomorrow. Happy 4th of July. And go Chelsea. Up the Chels.